It's been an interesting week so far. Now, outside of the one thing that we're obviously going to be talking about in the latter half of this video, the news, it's just been, especially on the entertainment side of things, it's been light, and there's been things, obviously, to talk about, as I've been able to put out several videos a day. Obviously, there's always something to talk about, but when it comes to big headline-grabbing news, it's been kind of light on that this month, actually, now that I really take a look at it. But of course, as we're heading into a weekend with a lot of planning behind it, yeah, this is when things really start to kick off. And by really start to kick off, I mean the potential for World War III is right around the corner, because our greatest ally out there in the Middle East has just decided to bomb Iran for some reason. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a preemptive strike because Iran could potentially do something maybe in the future. It's so funny, right? Because you want to go ahead and say, and the way that this is being, categorized and reported, explosions in Tehran after Israel launches a preemptive airstrike on Iran. Now that's interesting, right? Because if this was any other country around the world, you wouldn't call this a preemptive strike. You would accurately call this inciting a war. I mean, it's so funny. It's so funny what kind of kid gloves the media will handle a situation like this with. Because I'll be completely honest, man, at this point in time, I don't really know if we're closer to putting boots on the ground. Now, I'm recording this just like minutes after this stuff, just kicks off. It just so happened that this news dropped Thursday evening, Friday morning, depending on what side of where in the world you are. But I think it was earlier this week or at the tail end of last week, we heard that Trump was trying to negotiate something with Iran to get to the bottom of their nuclear plans, and it's Netanyahu out there trying to stoke some crazy shit, as he's prone to do, and Trump saying, yo, chill out for a second, I'm trying to, negotiate some peace, okay? Trying to get to the bottom of this with a country that has never been known to incite a war, which is kind of crazy. And then you take a look at the people doing the whole preemptive strike and how they're always liable to agitate in the Middle East. But yeah, no, it's preemptive, and if we don't act now, there will not be another generation. Oh, really? You want to tell that to the folks in Gaza or in the West Bank? Fucking warmongering piece of shit. Israel launched airstrikes inside Iran late Thursday in its latest effort to destroy Tehran's nuclear program. Interesting. Does anybody want to have a conversation about another country's nuclear program? No, because the last time that an American president did that, they ended up with their brains scattered across the back of a convertible in Dallas. An Operation Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, "Will continue for as many days as it takes to complete its mission." Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. You want to go ahead and do this stuff. You need to be preemptive about it, because this is a program that's been going on for how many years? Because you're losing support around the world at such a rapid rate now that people are starting to ask questions and are connecting dots, doing a lot more noticing lately. You need to start making these emotional pleas. He said the mission was to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. Are they threatening your survival? Is Hamas over there, or is Hezbollah adopting the doctrine of Hamas, even though you take a look at the charter and in as much as we've been told, oh no, you just take a look at the charter of Hamas and you should know directly who's the bad guy, and then you go and read it and you go, oh, there's actually nothing in there particularly that parrots the popular talking points. It's interesting. It's almost like one side is lying to us in order to justify their aggressive actions. But no. We must protect our survival. Israel has every right to defend itself. Just interesting, right? We can't leave these threats for the next generation. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Because if we don't act now, there will not be another generation. If we do not act now, we simply won't be here. We have internalized this lesson of history. Oh yes, because we need to invoke that thing. We need to repeat it over and over again, 6 million or 250,000 times, however many times it takes, because we cannot let history repeat itself. When an enemy says he intends to destroy you, believe him. Yeah, somebody probably should. But this could be going on over the weekend. I mean, like, we could be heading into World War III tomorrow, and by the time that you guys see this, this could be old news, and I'll have to do an update on that. I don't know. Who knows? I could be making videos at the end of the year out there in a fucking airbase, because The boy ends up getting conscripted and flown into the Middle East because fucking dirty old warmonger wants to go ahead and blow some people up, and we need to go ahead and defend our greatest ally. Go fuck yourself. But something that is a little bit more pressing that is for sure going to be happening over this weekend. Big protests in major cities. I mean, like, if a bunch of liberal fruitcakes want to continue to burn down their cities, I mean, it's totally on you, right? But everything that's been going down in Los Angeles, specifically this week, like most of the violence, a lot of the rioting and looting, well, that happened over the weekend, okay? And what was it, on Monday or Tuesday evening, I seen that Karen Bass finally came out of her cave to institute a dawn till dusk curfew. Well, we'll see what happens when the sun is shining this Saturday, because June 14th, we need to have the No Kings protest. You need to mobilize. We are a people of principle and honor. We honor our commitments and stand by our allies. Well, we're definitely going to be seeing that this weekend. We defend against aggression by dictators. Right, sure. We uphold and defend the Constitution. We care for veterans and children. We respect our neighbors and trading partners. We support a healthy national and international economy, community, and environment. We are world leader trusted to uphold the stability of rule of law. Fucking hilarious. Where was this type of pressure in the past 5 years? But, hey man, we're just asking a bunch of freaky fucking leftists to go ahead and live by their own principles. We are the people of the United States of America. The honor, dignity, the dignity, and the integrity of our country are not for sale. Our government is of the people, by the people, for the people. Right, so the majority of the people, and also the electoral college, you know, all of those people, all of those votes, they don't matter because a bunch of spurgs in a bunch of shitty cities want to go ahead and fucking firebomb their own communities. Yeah, okay, cool. But this post, okay, this post that was put in many national publications, this one specifically was a full-page ad in the New York Times, which at one point in time, pun not intended, would have been quite an expensive ad buy, but this time around, I don't know, like $3.50 or something like that. You could just go ahead and slap it down in there. Nobody's gonna see it, because who ended up paying for this political ad? Well, that's why it ended up making headlines. Walmart heiress Christy Walton, is funding full-page color ads in the New York Times for No King's Day, a nationwide counter-protest scheduled for Trump's birthday. Yeah, and you know what else June 14th is? Well, outside of, yes, Trump's birthday. It's also Flag Day. So funny that there's Flag Day during Pride Month. I mean, the jokes kind of write themselves. Nationwide counter-protest schedule. For Trump's birthday, organized by far-left group Indivisible. Looks like Walmart Dynasty is big mad about China tariffs. Yeah, but here's the thing, man, okay? The moment that this came out, Walmart just decided to go, yo. Okay, listen, Christy Walton, she has nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do with Walmart anymore. Don't boycott us. Okay, man, we're just out here. We're just trying to sell cheap shit to a bunch of people, okay? Don't come after us, okay? If you got a problem, stay with her. But then, of course, okay, a spokesperson for Christy Walton said her ad was not connected to the LA anti-ICE demonstrations. It's like, go fuck yourself. We know exactly what you were trying to do, okay? We know exactly what you're trying to peddle. I don't believe you. You're just out there supporting the one day of protest, not the ongoing weeks of protest that, yeah, okay, what we're having down here is already a very well-funded event because the police have arrested Alejandro Orlena, the thug behind the mass distribution of face shields to LA rioters. Now, for this clip right here, oh gosh darn, if we can just go back
truck,
to the...
and we've seen
okay,
describe
I don't actually care. No loud noises. No, but just going back, those bionic face shields. Now, I used to sell these, okay, in my line of work. Those are not cheap, okay, depending on where you're at. And now, in my neck of the woods, they were like $250 Canadian, but I could see the base rate for that stuff, and they're not the easiest thing to get your hands on. So unless you have a direct line on those, man, you're still looking at about $150 per face shield. And if this guy's out here handing them out to the rioters, couple that with the interesting delivery schedule for like pallets of bricks. Now, how a lot of those protest signs really look like they have also been well designed, and I mean, we're probably in for some crazy stuff this weekend. Let's just say that, because there's definitely going to be the funding and there's definitely going to be the pressure, and given the proclivity of a lot of the people that are already around and protesting this event and what's going on with Israel right now, yeah, they're going to be energized on another level. But then we've also got to take solace in as much as the people that are down there, even if they do decide to get violent, not exactly the type of people that you're going to have to worry about causing serious bodily harm, because these are the type of people that are out there.
Just move off the way. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing peaceful? No, it's not.
How do you as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
Yeah, but they don't care. They legitimately don't care. And this is the kind of shit that really pisses me off, because I don't want to be conflated with these people. Okay? Like, not at all whatsoever, because we just so happen, okay, to overlap on a one issue. Other than that, these fucking freaks, they're getting held up at a crosswalk because they want to peacefully protest. I mean, they can go ahead and peacefully check a bumper for as much as I care. But yeah, this happened during the week, so over the weekend, and given the fact they're getting spurned on by so many speds that are out there, like Kim Kardashian opposing the ICE raids, nobody cares, keep deporting. Yeah, exactly, because this is the type of shit that people were voting for, because all of this, at the bottom of this, right, it's all about defending illegal, law-breaking aliens. Like, this is what they're trying to uphold. Not a winning strategy at all whatsoever, okay? Like, outside of just the fringe ideologues, this is not a winning issue. Allowing people to come in and destroy communities, waving another nation's flag. Another nation that if you were deported to, you would cry foul, because you don't want to go back there, okay? You just want to uphold this fictitious fairy tale standard that you don't even want to live in accordance with yourself, okay? Because you got Katy Perry posting on Instagram, Los Angeles, a place that was literally, guys, literally began as El Pueblo de Nuestra Señor, la Reina de los Angeles de Porcencula, okay, founded by Mexican settlers in 1781. Okay, let me just go ahead and carry. Okay, we'll hear you out. Okay, I'll let you finish, but at the end of this, I just got to go ahead and correct the record. This was once Mexican land, and the people being targeted today are often descendants of those who lived here for generations, or who came seeking safety, work, and dignity. Yeah, but here's the thing. California was first settled by Spanish conquistadors. So if we want to just run this back, and this also just exposes the stupidity of all these fucking fruity land acknowledgements, okay, that specifically, like, Canadian liberals would just love to do to fucking tug off into their own face and just show how virtuous and awesome they are. You just want to go ahead and pay homage to the last native group, or I guess the most successful indigenous group out there, because they successfully conquered the lands from another indigenous group. So they just happen to be the most successful brown people at war, and they're more virtuous because of it. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So Katy Perry is out here saying, "Oh, we need to give the land back to the Mexicans. Okay, we need to recognize, ancestral rights of the Mexicans." Yeah, but what about the Spanish? See how all this leftist bullshit, it just fucking spirals into oblivion. It's nonsense. It's stupidity. But it's not as stupid as some people who unironically take their talking points from fictional media. Like, this is why I harp on entertainment so much, okay? When I started my channel, I was doing a lot of political stuff. I love talking politics. I love doing this type of stuff because it's the stuff that I've known, and this is stuff that I've grown up with. A lot of people were watching cartoons and, old media growing up. For me, it was sports and the news. Like, that was basically, like, I'm an old man in a young man's body, okay? So to see people unironically watch made up, and in the case of Andor, very good stories, and think that that's real life, that is analogous to what is going on now. If you watched Andor, you know what's going on in Los Angeles right now. Okay, cool. So you think that there's paid agitators, just like the Gorman massacre. You think that this is what, the deep state agitating to overthrow is that what you're trying to say? You think that, okay, that democratically elected empire is putting their boot down on the people that are just gathered in the square singing the national anthem? Yeah, because that's what's going on, right? Because, okay, again, like, they can't even fucking connect the dots, these dumb motherfuckers. They're so stupid, okay? Yeah, you know what's going on in Los Angeles right now. Yeah, them waving, again, waving the flag of Mexico, Palestine, Ecuador, like everywhere not American. Okay, they're waving everybody else's national anthem. I'm sorry, a national flag, singing everybody else's anthem. And you're trying to say that that's anywhere close to Gorman, okay? Them caged up in the town square, getting yeeted by stormtroopers. Okay, Jack Posobiec, yeah, Star Wars is gay now, bro. You're like a decade late. But the stupidity doesn't end there. We'll get through this before we just, call it a day. But Desperate Housewives actress Eva Longoria, right, the chick that, fled the United States how long ago, who was married to a French national, at least was at one point in time, in Tony Parker. But yes, claims deporting illegals is un-American and inhumane and refers to Americans as the commons. Oh, okay, cool. So denigrating the hardworking individuals, okay? Because this is also a common rejoinder of them. Oh, immigrants built this nation. Yes, you're correct. Several hardworking immigrants that came over and wanted to assimilate and wanted to uphold the American way of life, who wanted to come from their lands and bring something tangible to their new homeworld. They wanted to lift up the place that they were coming to because they believed in it over the place that they were leaving. Now you want to go ahead and try to conflate that with a bunch of people that want fucking handouts and preferential treatment? Yeah, there's a reason that your most relevant accolade came from a series that was canceled over a decade ago. Good on you. And speaking of irrelevant hacks, but yeah, the pet female nerd, I should say, because, they got Kevin Smith on the other side of this for Hollywood. Buffy the Vampire Slayer actress? Well, that's not necessarily fair, okay? She was in a couple of episodes, and there are far more... Well, there are several other cringe people that were in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, for Christ's sakes, but, like Felicia Day, probably more well-known for, Geek and Sundry, constantly hosting shit on Netflix. But yes, claims that the LA riots are mostly peaceful protests. They're actually running this shit back because it worked so well the first time around. The fiery but mostly peaceful. They're just singing and dancing. It's just going to be a summer of love in the background. I'm here to say that it's a gorgeous day in Los Angeles. I drove all around town and everything is normal. The mostly peaceful protests are happening in one tiny area of downtown, easily manageable by local officials. Don't believe the media hype. This is a manufactured crisis. Oh, yeah, that's interesting, huh? I drove around everywhere where they weren't protesting, and it was nice. Well, in Los Angeles, I guess nice is a relative term because you were still dodging bum piss and fucking homeless shits all over the place. But yeah, no. It was a gorgeous day in LA. Everything is normal. And then you got Cuck Hulk doing the exact same thing. Mark Ruffalo calls LA riots peaceful. Civil disobedience, and urges fans to join as fires rage and stores are looted. Yeah, because that's actually what's happening down there. But hey, I guess if Mark Ruffalo's calling on his fans to join the riots, I guess there's literally twos and threes of people that are going to be turning out over the weekend. So it's going to be interesting to see, and if we can assess the damage when it's all said and done, because this is once again spotlighting who the establishment wants to back, okay? What they're actually all about. Sowing chaos, wanting to overturn a lawful, free, and fair election. Very interesting stuff. How they'll constantly, bring up January 6th and a bunch of people walking around velvet ropes with a Capitol Hill Police Department escort. A protest so violent they stayed around afterwards to clean up after themselves. It was just, it was literal hell on earth. The worst event since the last Civil War. But now with all of the chaos on the home front and abroad, all that talk about slow news weeks by the talking heads this week, that's going to stop come the beginning of the new week. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.